So, if you don't remember, this is the Slant 6 73 Duster that's out in the field. I started working on getting it started. I got a control panel put into it just to help with getting it started. Have an ignition switch, engine starter button, and this is going to be used for oil pressure. I checked the carburetor. It looks like it's pretty well unstuck. I'm pretty sure the fuel pump won't work, and I don't know what's in the gas tank, so I'm not going to try that. There's no radiator, although I did find, if I just move over here, I did find an old radiator. I'm pretty sure it probably leaks, but if we get that far, I'm going to install that, and at least we can have it run for, you know, a few minutes before it gets too hot. Here's the interior. Most of it's been gutted. The seats are trashed. I took the dash out of it, the gauges. Yeah, lots of parts were used. Looks like the door panel is gone. The back seat's got the grill. It's still, I think, in pretty good shape. Just go around to the back of the car here. I've got an assortment of 7 1/4 rear end because I don't really use them for anything. If a car has a 7 1/4, I generally swap it for an 8 1/4 at least. So yeah, there's a bunch of 7 1/4 sitting here out of various cars. Here's the trunk. Threw all the parts in there from last video. It's got a spare that's not holding any air. Not a lot else in there. It's not terribly rusty, but I don't think this is a candidate to restore or anything. So next thing I'm going to do here is remove all the spark plugs. I don't know if you can see them there. Spray some WD-40 down the cylinder before we start here so that the cylinder walls have some lubrication. The piston rings don't score anything up too badly. So let me just set the camera up and then I will take those out. So for the next step here, I think what I'm going to do is mount one of these control boxes for the ignition right about there. I don't have a drill, so I really hope I'll be able to do this with just a screwdriver. I'll put in one more of those. And with this one, I'll need to add the ground cable that I made in the last video. If you didn't see that, I'll try to put a link to it. Yeah, here's a little ground cable that I made. I don't know if you can see that. Just to make sure that this box is well grounded and there's no paint on the hole on the other side. It's got a nice shiny metal surface. So that should give us a pretty decent ground. And I'll put the other end of this wire to somewhere on the engine block, because I know the negative battery cable goes right to the engine block. So if I can find really good, clean, I might have to clean up a bolt on the engine somewhere to ground to. So here we go, another one of these. Again, easier with a drill. There's a ground on the control box that I can actually connect this cable too, just add it to the ground. Yeah, so there's already a ground over here, so if I can take both of those, connect them together. This top connector is power. So that's going to go to the ballast resistor. I actually made up a little Y connector. I need that to go to the that's go to you just might be a little difficult to see. Yeah, so here's the multimeter, so I'm just gonna check what the top and bottom of this resistor is. The top's 5. On the bottom, it's 1.5. So I believe you want to use the 1.5. So I'm going to swap it to the bottom. Okay. Now the other side of the ballast resistor should go to the coil. So I've got a cable made up for that. I don't know if you can see it here. So I'm going to take it from the other side of the ballast resistor here, just connect it on there, and then I'm going to head over to the coil for the camera over to see that. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is the power from the side of the ballast resistor that's current limited. So I'm going to just take it. This is the positive side of the coil. We just confirm that. I don't see anything in the dirt here that indicates which is positive. Oh, there it is. There's a positive right here. So yeah, this side is positive. So I'm going to tie all these wires up once everything is in place. So let me just tighten that down. Grab the, wonder what size that is. Okay, it's not 7/16. Grab something a little smaller. So this should be the right size, 3/8. So I'm just gonna do it as finger tight because I don't want to strip that little terminal there. Okay. I've got some other connectors here. This is our negative coil wire. So that, I'll take the terminal. Not sure if you can see this. I'll maybe change the camera. This connector here goes to the negative terminal on the coil, and then it's going to go, I believe it's this terminal. I'm going to double check. I have a wiring diagram. So, yeah, that's dirty. Oh crap. I lost the little nut, little lock washer. And it's gone. Okay, so that's fine. Let me just try to clean off some of the grease out of this terminal. And again, tighten that down. Just finger tight because I don't want to strip the terminal. Okay, so now the last step. The wiring harness is going to be the pickup coil in the distributor itself. So I've got this cable it's got this kind of connector, and then it's got 2 bullet connectors on the end. So this is just a matter of grabbing this pickup connector from the distributor, popping this on, making sure it's fully seated, and then I don't know which way is which on this, but pop those 2 on. Okay, so now we should have our control box connected up to our coil. So what I'd like to do at this point is just see if there's any spark at all. Yeah, so I've got a short coil wire here. I'm just going to connect it. Okay, so I got the coil wire connected really close to just a piece of metal, part of the alternator bracket. I'm gonna connect up the battery. There we go. So I'm just gonna give her a tickle. I hear sparks. Not seeing spark though. I don't want to touch that. I don't want to get a shock. Maybe it's not close enough. Yeah, that might be a little too far. Okay, so that's really quite close. I hope you can still see that. I'm going to watch it real close and see if there's any spark jumping. I can see a tiny spark. Just like to check what the voltage is at the coil right now. Just got the ignition on. So if I go from the positive to a decent ground. Yeah, 7.8 volts at the coil. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the meter. But if I go from a good ground over here to this part, yeah, I got 12 volts there. Here, 8 volts after the ballast resistor. Okay. So I think we might need to run the coil hotter. So this is my, I'm going to turn off the ignition. This is my 0 ohm ballast resistor. So let's see, is that hot? It should be. Ooh, yeah, that's hot. So since this is going to be my new ballast resistor, yeah, this wire is even a little warm. So that's all going to be hot, so I can't touch anything. I'm going to get a little electrical tape. Okay, so now the coil wire is actually touching. I'm going to just give it a little gap there. And that may not be a decent enough ground either, so now I'm going to flip on the ignition. The coil is going to be hot. Yeah, I see a really good spark there now. So let me wire in the spark plugs, and then I will get back once that's done. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is look for the terminal closest to the vacuum canister. Here's the vacuum advance. That should go to the carb. That's gonna, yeah, anyways, we'll worry about that later. So this should be number 1. So I'm gonna grab a spark plug wire that's about the same length as that. Okay, so I found one that's pretty close here. So I'm going to use that for my number 1 terminal. drop in one of the spark plugs. Okay, so just take off our air cleaner again. Just put it out of the way. And that moves nice and freely. So I had a small oil can that I was going to use, so I don't know where that went. I must have left it somewhere. But I got this can of high test gas. So if I just carefully try to fill up the bowl, I had a small can with a nice little spout on it, but I don't know what I did with it. So I'm just going to pour a little bit, try and get it down the vent tube. Okay, that's not too much, so hopefully we don't have a fire. I think I got a fire extinguisher in the truck here if I need it. So in the moment of truth, I move the gas far away. So I poured a little bit of gas down the carburetor. I think we got spark. Bypassed the ballast resistor for the moment. So here we go. First time to start this in 21 years? Come on, okay. Ignition on. Oh, we got smoke. That didn't even try to fire. Okay. Let me check the voltage we got at the coil. What I think I need to do is make sure this is a better connection at the positive terminal, because that's where it was smoking. So, yeah. Just grab it as much as I can there. That doesn't touch the body of the car. I'm going to start up the vehicle here. I'm boosting it from. Let's see if it'll spin a little faster. I hope you can hear me there over the truck there. It's on. So, ignition. Spins a little faster, but not firing. Oh, I forgot to put the coil on. Okay, so now we actually should get spark. So let's see what happens now. got some, oh man, does that stink. So we got some fire out of it. Oh, the exhaust. Oh man. I think the exhaust is mostly just off. Try that one more time. Let the starter cool a little bit. Maybe I need a little more gas. Well, I opened up the distributor and found that in the where the rotor is. So I don't know if you can see the bent pin there. So I have a new rotor cap and or distributor cap and rotor, so I'm gonna throw that on and try it again. Okay, so I'm gonna try it a couple more times. I found one spark plug wire was off, and I reseated a bunch of other ones. Found a couple vacuum leaks. Oh, it almost started. A little more gas, maybe? I don't know. Got the firing order wrong. Here we go. And come on, fire up. You can do it. Huh, does not want to get over fast enough. Okay, try a little more. Okay. This will be the end of it. Come on. Let's stir the smoke. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm gonna call it. Oh,